replacement glasses, missed orientation expenses, and a private settlement of $120,000. The room held still after I named the number. That was the part I enjoyed, not the pain, not the bandage, the pause for a second. Every person in that room had to decide whether the skinny boy with the split lip was delusional or dangerous. Iris looked at me like she had expected me to ask for an apology and maybe a ride to campus. Blaine looked at me like I had robbed him. Mr. Carver looked at me like he had found a bill he could pay before it grew teeth. I had spent years being priced by other people. This was the first time I quoted myself. Blaine exploded. For a bloody lip? I smiled at him with the bloody lip. No, for being stupid where people could record you. Mr. Carver did not flinch. That told me the number was acceptable, maybe annoying, not damaging. He took out his
It's fine, brother. It's fine. Everybody's busy.
Said, "You made your temper a family expense." That was the third thing Blaine lost. The apology came first. Mr. Carver made him say it with Iris in the room, and the officer at the door. Blaine stared at the floor and forced out, "I am sorry I involved you," Iris answered. "You should be sorry you hit him." Blaine's ears went red. Beautiful. Then the wire hit. My phone buzzed in my palm. The number looked fake because I had never seen that many digits attached to my name without a minus sign. $120,000. The cashback system opened over the hospital blanket. Complaint resolved. Compensation received. System points credited. Available upgrade paths unlocked. I paid the hospital charges from the same account before leaving the bed.
Yeah, this is Vanguards. I've been trying to get back into it. It's easy. It's hard. It's easier said than done, but I've been trying to get into it.
Shameless and perfect. A notification offered pain reduction, but I ignored it for the moment. Pain had value while Iris was still in the room. I kept my face blank. Inside, the old fired man from the subway platform lifted his head. Pain was cheaper than poverty when someone else was paying the bill. Mr. Carver watched me confirm the transfer receipt. I did not pretend the terms were the reward. The receipt was just Blaine's arrogance with a dollar sign. Before they left, Blaine looked at Iris one more time. She had moved to my side of the bed. That was the fourth thing he lost. When the door closed behind Blaine and his father, the room changed temperature. Iris let out a breath and sat down hard in the chair. "You scared me," she said. I scared him more. "That is not funny." "It is a little funny." She tried not to smile. "Failed." Then she looked at my swollen cheek and frowned again. "Why did you not fight back?" she asked. I could have lied. I could have said I was too weak, or too noble, or too shocked. Instead, I said, "Because a punch from me would have been free." Iris stared at me. Iris did not laugh that time. She studied me like the train had been a test, and I had answered with a language she did not know yet. "You planned that?" she asked. "I planned to survive it." "You smiled after he hit you." "I was thinking about interest." She pressed her lips together. "You are either smarter than you look, or worse than you look." "Today?" I asked. "Both." That finally pulled the smile back out of her. I tapped the phone against the blanket.
Today,
Him
both.
father attached. For a second, she looked at me like she was seeing the wrong species. Then she
Huh? Wait, where did I get this one? Wait, where did I get this one?
Recently improved, I said. She took my phone, typed in her number, and called herself so my contact showed on her screen. "I am saving this," Iris said. "If you disappear after making me watch that, I will be mad." "You are already mad. I can be better at it." That line stayed with me longer than the bruise. At the door, Iris paused and looked back at me. "Do not use that money to do something stupid," she said. I looked at the system list, glowing where only I posture, skin, strength, tools. "I am going to do something very calculated," I said. "That sounds worse. It usually pays better." After she left, the room went quiet. The settlement money sat in my account. The system points sat in the corner of my vision. Blaine's apology still tasted better than the hospital ice water. I opened the upgrade screen. I expected one big button. Revenge stories always make the first prize look simple from the outside. The system was not that generous. Eyesight repair, dental correction, skin recovery, posture alignment, basic fitness correction, pain reduction, wardrobe cashback, device cashback. Each option had a cost. Each cost was rude. My old glasses lay cracked on the tray beside me. My tooth ached where Blaine's punch had snapped my jaw sideways. My back hunched from years of trying not to take up space. I had enough money to change my life. I did not have enough points to waste a single one. The system pulsed again. Recommended path. Visible correction before social return. I looked at the cracked glasses. Then at my reflection in the dark hospital window. The old Nolan Reed stared back at me with blood on his lip and Blaine Carver's money in his account. I smiled. "And it hurts. Fine," I whispered. "Make him expensive." The first repair option opened. Somewhere across Harbor City, Blaine was probably explaining how none of this was his fault. I hoped he kept talking. Men like him got cheaper when they stayed silent. They got expensive when they defended themselves. Second lesson. Money came quick. Status cost more. The points burned faster than I liked. The first thing I bought was not revenge. It was eyesight. The cashback system took the points, and the world snapped into focus so hard I gripped the hospital sink. The cracked mirror over the basin showed every bruise Blaine Carver had paid for, but behind the swelling, the old blur was gone. No thick glasses, no squint, no watery shame from pretending I could see the board while people laughed behind me. I leaned closer. The system offered dental correction next. I accepted. Pain shot through my jaw like somebody had dragged a wire through my teeth. I slapped one hand over my mouth and breathed through it. 5 seconds later, the uneven front tooth that had made me hide my smile since high school sat straight. That one almost made me angry. The pain was not what made me angry.
Oh,
The
AJ.
injustice
I
was.
didn't know.
It
I
hurt
forgot
more
AJ
than
played
pain
this
to
game.
express dullness from my face. Posture alignment forced my shoulders back until my spine felt like it had been insulted into working. Basic fitness correction did not turn me into a movie hero. It gave me enough muscle under the cheap shirt that I no longer looked apologetic from across a room. The system kept offering more. I stopped before greed made me stupid. The balance had already dropped lower than I liked. Blaine had funded my comeback, but even his father's wire was not bottomless once the cashback system started charging for the body I should have had years ago. I bought pain reduction last. Not all of it, just enough to walk without looking broken. Then I took the cracked glasses from the tray and folded them into my pocket. Souvenir. I did one more thing before leaving the hospital. I threw the old prescription lenses into the trash and kept only the bent frames. The frames had no practical value on purpose. I wanted a piece of the old weakness small enough to fit in my pocket and sharp enough to remind me what people had been laughing at. Then I checked out with my back straight. The front desk nurse asked if someone was picking me up. I said, "Someone already paid for the ride." She thought I meant a car. I meant Blaine. A nurse passed the open bathroom door and paused. She had seen me come in with a swollen face, bad posture, and a scared student's body. Now she stared long enough to make the silence obvious. "Do you need help?" she asked. "No," I said. "I finally got some." She did not know what that meant. Good. By noon, I had paid the bill, bought a new phone, and walked out of Mercy Harbor Medical Center wearing the same cheap clothes on a completely different frame. The campus shop gave me the next useful reaction. I walked in wearing a wrinkled shirt and hospital discharge papers folded in my back pocket. The clerk barely looked up. 10 minutes later, after I carried a fitted hoodie, clean shoes, two plain shirts, and a belt to the counter, his tone changed from "student discount is over there" to "Sir, do you need anything else?" Sir, stupid word. A useful word. The system credited the purchase, and I watched the points crawl up a little. Not enough to make me careless. Enough to prove the loop worked. Spend the enemy's money. Receive a better weapon. The phone store was my first public test. The sales associate started with the tired voice people use on broke students. Then I put a new phone and a laptop on the counter. When the payment cleared, the associate stood straighter and offered a protective case like I had become worth upselling. The system flashed. Device purchase recorded. Cashback points credited. Not enough to make me rich. Enough to make me smile. Outside, I caught my reflection in the store window. Fitted black hoodie from a campus shop. Clean shoes. New phone. No glasses. Bruise fading under skin, the system had forced back toward healthy. The old Nolan Reed had not become handsome because fate loved him. He had become expensive because Blaine Carver lost his temper in public. I respected that kind of beauty. I did not go home to admire myself. I went straight to Bayside Metropolitan University. In my first life, I had arrived late, sweaty, and scared. My old glasses had fogged from the train. Someone had called me lost before I even found the classroom. By lunch, people knew me as the weird guy from the train. By dinner, Rocco Flynn had taken my bed. This time, I walked through the main campus entrance with Blaine's money in my account and a hammer in my bag. Two students by the entrance looked at me, then at the hospital band still around my wrist. One of them asked, "Are you on a team?" I said, "Today? Recovery." They laughed, but they moved aside. In my first life, people had moved around me because I was in the way. This time, they moved because they were not sure what I was. That uncertainty was a better welcome than applause. The hammer was not symbolic. It was a hammer. The classroom door opened during roll call. 20 faces turned. The professor stopped reading from the roster. "You are late." "I was at the hospital," I said. That got attention. The professor looked at the fading bruise on my cheek, then at the roster. Name? Nolan Reed. A rustle moved through the room. Not recognition. Recalculation. A boy in the second row whispered, "That is the train guy?" Another answered, "No way. The train guy had glasses." I heard both. I let them keep whispering. Confusion was useful. It meant the old rumor had reached campus before my new face did, and now the two versions did not match. Talia Burke looked up first from the front row. She had the kind of smile that checked your shoes before your face. Her eyes moved from my new phone to my shoulders, then back to my face. "Hospital?" Talia asked before the professor could stop her. That sounds dramatic. It was profitable, I said. Trevor Baines snorted from the front. Profitable hospital visit. That is new. The professor warned him by name. Trevor lifted both hands like he was innocent. Just trying to understand the economy. I looked at him for the first time. Start with supply and demand, I said. There was a large supply of arrogance on the train. I created demand for consequences. The room laughed harder than the joke deserved. Trevor did not. Useful too. A few students laughed. Sasha Wynne, sitting 2 seats behind Talia, covered her mouth and failed to hide her smile. She looked softer than Talia, less hungry. But she watched me just as carefully. Mila Vance did not smile. Mila sat near the aisle with a neat binder, a class list, and the expression of someone who believed disorder was a personal attack. She looked at me, then at the empty seat, then at the professor like she wanted permission to put the day back in a box. The professor pointed to the back. Sit down, Mr. Reed. Catch up after class. I walked past 3 empty seats and took one near the window. Talia turned halfway around. So, Nolan Reed, are you always this calm after hospital visits? No, I said. Sometimes I bill people first. Sasha laughed out loud that time. Mila's pen stopped moving. Mila's irritation was the first campus reaction I trusted. Talia's interest could lie. Sasha's smile could soften. Mila's irritation was cleaner. Proud people hate it when the room turns without their permission. After class, Mila approached my desk before Talia could get there. She held out the class list. Phone number. Everyone is in the class thread. Her voice was clear enough for every nearby student to hear. The line was ordinary. The position was not. Mila had planted herself between me and the girls already circling. I took the pen from her hand. You always collect men this aggressively? I asked. Mila's eyes sharpened. I collect information. Men are usually less useful. Talia made a small sound behind her. Sasha whispered. That was cold. Mila did not look back. I wrote my number slowly and handed the pen back. Then try not to waste mine. Mila looked at the number, then at the new phone. Expensive device for someone who claims hospital profit, Mila said. I did not claim poverty. You implied it. No, I said. People hear what makes them comfortable. Talia leaned closer to Sasha and whispered loudly enough to be heard, He is either rich or insane. I said, Those are not enemies. Sasha laughed again. Mila's mouth tightened, and that tiny loss of control fed the whole circle. For half a second, Mila had no answer. That half second did more for my reputation than any introduction could have. Talia slid in from the side as Mila stepped back. You are bold for a guy who just got here. It was worse when I was poor, I said. Talia's eyes brightened at the word poor, because she was trying to decide whether I meant it as history or bait. Sasha glanced at the bruise on my cheek. Are you actually okay? That question was different. No angle, no class list, no price check. I looked at her and said, Better than the guy who paid for it. Now the boys were listening too. I saw Trevor Baines near the front, leaning against a desk like the furniture owed him rent. Trevor had the clean campus rich boy costume down, watch, jacket, lazy stare. In my first life, he had not needed to bully me directly. He had just laughed in the right places and let smaller men do it for him. Now he watched Talia and Sasha talk to me, and his mouth flattened. Good. Desire was useful. Jealousy was faster. The professor dismissed the room. I left before the circle could turn into a question parade. Too much attention, too soon made people sloppy. I wanted them curious, not comfortable. My dorm assignment had not changed. Same building, same hallway, same smell of detergent, old pizza, and boys pretending they were men because no one made them clean. In my first life, I had asked the housing desk if I could switch rooms after Rocco Flynn dumped my bag on the floor. The desk had told me to work it out. So this time, I brought tools. The first life memory was waiting for me when I touched the door handle. Rocco throwing my suitcase into the hall, the other roommates laughing when my toothbrush rolled under the dresser. Me sleeping on the floor with my jacket folded under my neck because I thought complaining would make me look weak. The next morning, my back had hurt so much I could barely sit through class. Rocco had told everyone I chose the floor because I was low maintenance. That nickname lasted a month. I stood outside the same door in the new life and felt the old apology rise in my throat like bile. Then I reached into my bag and touched the hammer handle. The apology went back down. Rocco was already on my bed when I opened the door. He had boots on the blanket and one arm behind his head. 2 other roommates stood near the closet, watching for entertainment. I did not know their names then, and I never needed to. They were the kind of background men who laughed only when the biggest idiot laughed first. Rocco looked me over. He did not recognize the body, but he recognized the shape of an opportunity. New guy, he said. Lower bunk is mine. You can take the desk until we find you floor space. I set my bag down. That is my bed. Rocco smiled. Was. The 2 roommates laughed. I unzipped the bag. Rocco sat up a little. What, you got snacks in there? No, I I said. I pulled out the hammer and placed it on the pillow beside his boot. The room went quiet in a way that finally felt earned. Rocco stared at the hammer. Then he looked at me. You threatening me? I'm unpacking, I said. One roommate took a step toward the door. Rocco tried to save the moment. You think a hammer makes you tough? One of the roommates gave a nervous laugh. It died when nobody joined him. Rocco looked at the door, then at me, calculating whether he could still make this a joke. Campus security would love this, he said. Then call them, I said. Tell them you stole a bed and got scared of hardware. The roommate closest to the closet whispered, Rocco, just get up. That whisper did what my words could not. It told Rocco his audience had changed sides before the fight even started. No, I said. I think asking once makes me polite. His eyes moved to my bruised cheek, then to my shoulders, then back to the hammer. I let him count the situation. Big men love math when the number is in their favor. They hate it when the equation changes. Rocco swung his boots off the bed. Whatever, he muttered. Bad mattress anyway. He stood and walked toward the door like leaving had been his idea. The other roommates followed too quickly. I said, You forgot your pillow. Rocco stopped. The pillow was still on my bed. He looked at the hammer again, grabbed the pillow with 2 fingers, and left without another word. For the first time, a dorm room felt like mine. I shut the door, locked it, and let myself breathe. Not long. Rest is where old habits try to crawl back in. My phone buzzed with a class thread message before I finished unpacking. Mila had added me. Talia had already sent a waving emoji. Sasha had asked if I needed notes. The boys had sent nothing, which meant they were talking somewhere else. The cashback system flashed faintly.
Hey, Crazy, how's it going?
Minor points credited.
I mean, sure, brother, I could use some help.
Affiliation was a currency. The class thread turned vicious before
I mean, sure, I could use some help. I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm only trying to get the One Piece characters at this point.
Does Nolan take coffee?
I'm trying to get Gear 5. That's the only reason why I'm doing this at this
He
point.
probably takes notes too, since he missed part of class. Mila replied with one clean line. This thread is for academic use. Talia sent a laughing emoji anyway. I read the messages while sitting on the edge of the bed Rocco had surrendered. The hammer lay beside my folded clothes. The cracked glasses sat on the desk. 3 objects. 3 versions of me. The old loser in the frames. The new warning on the pillow. The phone in my hand. Buzzing because people who had ignored me once were now doing free advertising. I typed nothing. Silence makes rumors work harder. By the next morning, the rumor had grown legs. The hospital, the vanished glasses, Rocco leaving his own room. Someone in the thread called me Campus Shark, and nobody corrected it. I walked into class with coffee I did not need, and sat down like the room had been saving the chair. Talia looked pleased to see me. Sasha looked relieved. Mila looked annoyed that both of them looked at me at all. The professor had not arrived yet, which meant the room belonged to
Oh,
first.
I just got lucky. I just got lucky.
Used it well in my
Like, I got lucky. Like, right after I got the familiar, I got Alucard. So I was like, yeah, I just got fucking lucky.
This time, I watched him wind himself up.
It was like a day or two before I got the familiar. It's like a day or two after I got the familiar that I got Alucard.
Back in his chair and made sure his voice carried. Careful, Reed, Trevor said. A cheap glow-up does not make you important around people with real family property. The room tilted toward him. The old Nolan would have swallowed it. He would have laughed along, because laughing with the knife feels safer than admitting where it went in. This time, I did not even blink. I looked at Trevor's watch, then at his smile, and remembered exactly which building lobby his family liked to pose in. I said nothing yet. Some men need to finish bragging before you cut the price tag off them. Trevor had just opened his mouth wide enough for the receipt, and I already knew the humiliating total down to the last ugly dollar. Trevor Baines thought family property was a throne. First mistake. His second mistake was saying it loudly while I was still angry from the night before. The professor had turned to the board. The room had leaned toward Trevor like he had paid rent on the air. Talia Burke smiled, because rich boys were always at least interesting until proven broke. Sasha Wynn looked uncomfortable, but curious. Mila Vance kept her pen still over her notes, pretending she was above the whole thing while listening harder than anyone. Trevor leaned back and said, Careful, Reed. A cheap glow-up does not make you important around people with real family property. I looked at his watch again. Then I asked, Which property? That one question took the smile off him for half a second. He recovered fast. Trevor had survived on confidence longer than some people survived on...
No, no, not really.
I said. I want you to pick the lie you like best. The room went quiet. Talia turned all the way around in her seat.
I'm just trying to get the Gear 4 first before I get Gear 5, because I know it's going to take a while for me to get Gear 5.
Half of Harbor City. 8 apartments, I said.
Because I need to get Gear 4 before I can even get Gear 5.
Trevor blinked. I kept my voice lazy. 8 apartments split across relatives, 2 mortgages still biting your family in the ankle, 1 lobby downtown where you keep taking photos like the marble belongs to you. A boy near the window coughed into his sleeve. It sounded suspiciously like a laugh. Trevor sat forward. You do not know anything about my family. I know your uncle owns 3 of them and hates when your father calls them family holdings, I said. I know your aunt paid the tax bill on the 4th because your father was waiting for a tenant who stopped paying. I know the lobby you post is not even residential. It is the front of a building where your family has 1 unit and a very enthusiastic camera angle. Now,
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm doing.
way that tells a man his crown has become a party hat.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm currently doing. I already got Nami evolved. I just need to get Brooke and Sanji
I
evolved.
listened. Almost true. In my first life, Trevor had gotten drunk during senior year and cried into a plastic cup about those same 8 apartments. He had called them an empire until a real investor's son corrected him in front of 2 girls. Trevor had never forgiven the correction.
Yeah, I'm about to return to lobby after
Insulted
this.
everyone poorer than him because the rich had already laughed. Old life memory was a receipt I had already paid for. Trevor tried to stand. Say that again? The professor turned around. Mr. Baines. Trevor froze because authority had finally noticed him. I did not stand. Standing would have made it a fight. Sitting made it worse. I said, 8 apartments, 2 mortgages, 1 borrowed lobby. Talia made a tiny sound like she had just watched a handbag turn fake in public. Sasha covered her mouth, but her eyes gave her away. Mila's pen moved again. She wrote something small in the corner of her page, then crossed it out when she saw me looking. Trevor pointed at me. You think knowing gossip makes you somebody? No, I said. Knowing when to stop talking would make you somebody. You should try it. The professor said, Enough. Trevor sat down because he had no better option. Cruel part, he had invited the room to measure us, and now the whole room was holding a ruler against him. The lecture restarted, but nobody really returned to it. People watched Trevor's shoulders. They watched Talia stop looking at his watch. They watched Sasha sneak another glance at me like she was checking whether I was done being dangerous. Mila watched differently. She was not impressed in the soft way. Mila looked irritated that I had solved a social problem with 1 sharp number instead of procedure, rank, or permission. Proud people like rules until someone else breaks the room better than they enforce it. When class ended, Trevor moved first. He blocked the aisle near my desk. His smile was back, thinner now. You got lucky with a rumor. You got unlucky with the truth. Talia laughed before she could stop herself. Trevor's eyes cut toward her. That hurt him more than my line did. Talia was not loyal to money. She was loyal to the smell of it. The moment his rich boy scent turned cheap, she stepped back without moving her feet. Trevor said, Careful, Campus Shark. Harbor City is small when families start talking. I stood up. He was not short, but he still looked smaller when I stopped letting him tower over a desk. Then tell your family, I said. Start with the aunt paying the tax bill. She sounds organized. The students near us broke. The laugh spread down the aisle, quick and ugly. Trevor's jaw worked once. He wanted to swing. I could see it. But Blaine Carver had taught me a useful lesson on the train. Rich boys like violence only when they believe the room will edit the story for them. Trevor had just lost the editor. Mila stepped between us with her binder against her chest. Move, Trevor said. Mila did not. She looked at him first. If you start something in class, it becomes the whole department's entertainment by dinner. Then she looked at me. And you. Stop treating the class like a betting table. I prefer tables that pay, I said. That is not a defense. I called it accounting. Her eyes narrowed. You are enjoying this. A little, I said.
A little.
He's in half of Harbor City. I gave him a discount.
A little.
Sasha laughed. Talia touched Trevor's sleeve like she wanted to calm him, then let go when she remembered everyone was watching. That tiny retreat was another public loss. Trevor saw it too. He turned and walked out before he could lose anything else. The room did not go back to normal after he left. That was the point. Status is not a crown. It is a habit other people repeat for you. Trevor had trained the room to treat him like money. I had made the room repeat a different habit in under 5 minutes. The professor tried to reclaim the last minute with an assignment reminder. Nobody cared. A student behind me whispered, 8 apartments is still rich, though. Another student answered, not after saying half the city. Humiliation does not need to erase the truth. It only needs to make the lie louder than the truth ever was. Trevor still had more than most students. He still had clean shoes, family help, and a watch he touched whenever he needed courage. But he had sold himself as untouchable, and I had put a discount sticker on him in public. Myla heard the whispers and tapped her pen once against the binder. This is why rumors get stupid, she said. No, I said. This is why people should price themselves accurately. She looked at me like she wanted to argue and hated that the sentence had a receipt attached. Talia leaned over Sasha's desk. For the record, if my family had 8 apartments, I would absolutely lie upward. Sasha said, that is not a good thing. It is an honest bad thing. Mila closed her binder harder than necessary. You three are exhausting. You counted yourself in that group, I said. Her eyes snapped to mine. Too late. The room caught it. Not enough for a full laugh. Enough for a new line in the invisible ledger. Mila Vance had accidentally stood inside the circle she was pretending to supervise. By lunch, the class thread had already mutated. Someone wrote, 8 apartments is still more than my family has. Someone else answered, 2 mortgages and 1 borrowed lobby, though. Talia sent, please stop. I am trying not to laugh in public. Mila posted,
She said, please stop. I'm trying not to laugh in public. Literally screamed out, please stop. I'm trying not to laugh in public, God damn it.
The edge of my vision while I walked across campus. Public status shift detected, minor points credited. I almost laughed in the open. Even the system understood Trevor had paid something. Not money yet. Pride, attention, girl interest. The softer currencies spend better than people admit. Talia caught up near the courtyard, walking fast enough to look accidental. So, she said, are you secretly in real estate? No. Then how did you know? Trevor talks like a man who has never paid a bill, I said. Those men always exaggerate upward. Talia studied me. That is not an answer. It is the only free one. She smiled at that. Talia liked locked doors because she assumed the room behind them had something expensive inside. Sasha came up beside her with a notebook pressed to her chest. You probably should be careful. Trevor looked really angry. He looked poor, Talia said. Sasha gave her a look. Talia shrugged.
What up, crazy?
Mila walked past us as if she had not been listening from 3 steps away. Mila, Talia called. Coffee? Mila did not stop. No, Sasha said. We were going
You
anyway.
like the new different? You gonna like the rarity that they're gonna add for Sung Jin Woo? Because they're gonna add a new rarity for him.
Why the room kept bending toward me, so I said, I am buying. Talia turned bright. Sasha smiled. Mila looked offended by the entire economic structure of the sentence. I can buy my own coffee, Mila said. Good, I said. Then you can buy mine. Talia laughed so hard she had to grab Sasha's arm. Mila stared at me. You are unbelievable. I have been called worse by people with better property. That got her, not a smile. Worse. The corner of her mouth almost moved, and she hated herself for it. We ended up at the campus cafe because Mila wanted to prove she had not followed us, which meant she followed us with extra posture. The cafe was full enough to be useful. Students with laptops, a cashier pretending not to listen, 2 athletes near the window, a man in a black jacket at the counter who kept looking at Sasha like he had mistaken politeness for permission. I noticed him because Sasha noticed him first. She moved closer to Talia. Mila saw it too. Her face cooled. The man stepped into their path when they reached the pickup counter. You girls from Bayside? He asked. Mila said, move, clear, sharp.
I wish I got his memorial.
I asked a friendly question. And she gave you useful advice, I said from behind him. He turned and looked me over. He saw the bruise fading on my face. He saw the new clothes. He saw 3 girls.
Honestly, because I still need one more thing.
Men like that are painfully easy to read.
Like I've been trying to get some new characters to try to catch up, just at all. Like I want to catch up in general.
Sasha looked at the floor. Mila said, do not answer him. I answered anyway. No, I charge more for clubs. The man reached past me towards Sasha's cup. Relax, I am joking. His fingers touched Sasha's wrist. I moved before he finished the word, one hand on his wrist, one turn. Practical pressure in the direction his joint hated most. His knees bent fast. The cup hit the counter, coffee sloshing over the lid. He hissed, let go, move.
Like, what should I do to basically try to catch up at this point?
His body believed it. The athletes near the window stood halfway up, not to help him, to see if this was worth filming. I lowered my voice. You touched her because you thought the cafe would protect you from consequences. It will not. The man tried to twist free. I added half an inch of pressure. His face went pale. Okay, he snapped. Okay, I let go. He backed up, rubbing his wrist, trying to turn retreat into anger. You are crazy. Cheap word, I said. Try grateful. Your wrist still works. The cashier made a sound behind the register. It might have been a laugh. It might have been fear. Either was fine. The man left without his drink.
Yeah, because I did get the Luffy that you need, so.
Thank you. Her voice mattered. It changed the scene from violence to rescue. Talia looked at me like she had just discovered a price tag she could not afford, but wanted to touch anyway. Mila did not thank me. She stared at my hand. You knew exactly where to press, she said. Wrists are honest, I said. That is a disturbing sentence. You asked. Mila looked at Sasha, then at the door where the man had vanished. Her expression shifted. That is a
Hold on. I mean, sure, we can continue going. We can continue to evolve Luffy. Yeah, I'm down for it. Cause what the next thing would be? Yeah, the next thing would be Firefoot. So the next thing would be basically just evolving the Sanji. Sanji. Sanji's the last one, which is Firefoot. The one that says Firefoot is the last one I need. Because I just finished, I did Nami first, and then I did Brook. So Sanji, he's the last one. Yeah, he's the last one. Yeah, he's the last one. Before I get the Straw Hat, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be annoying. Oh God, and I still need takedowns with him too. Fuck. Well, let's add him to the team because he's gonna need takedowns too. Yes, I do. The only thing I'm missing is the food thing. I'm only missing like the food thing. I'm missing like the top thing that you need to evolve him. I have everything else. Yeah, this is what I'm missing right here. Food platter. That's the only thing I'm missing.
wouldn't find a way to disrespect the goat. Even Uncle Iroh is a man, the voice of reason, the man who saved the last two dragons, still can't run from the disrespect. You mean welcome Iroh to the White Lotus? He's a grandmaster. What the hell are we talking about? I need you to read this along with me. About a month ago, a call went out that they were needed, and it came from a Grand Lotus. That Grand Lotus being Iroh of the Fire Nation. I'm pretty sure you can't become a Grand Lotus that can convene everybody to one spot in like a month, acting like he's a new recruit. Also, if he's a new recruit, when he
Oh yeah, I need that. Okay, so I need that eventually.
how did he know where to go? How did he know who left it? How did he know the secret password and to do this little magic trick? What? But because I am a fair man, and I am not just hating to hate, despite what some of you may think, this was a well-acted scene between these two. And I don't hate the backstory that Jong Jong is the reason that Liu Ten died by deserting his troop, but you thought they wouldn't find a way to disrespect the goat? Even Uncle Iroh is a man, the voice of reason, the man who saved the last two dragons, still can't run from the disrespect. You mean welcome Iroh to the White Lotus? He's a grandmaster. What the hell are we talking about? I need you to read this along with me. About a month ago, a call went out that they were needed, and it came from a Grand Lotus. That Grand Lotus being Iroh of the Fire Nation. I'm pretty sure you can't become a Grand Lotus that can convene everybody to one spot in like a month, acting like he's a new recruit. Also, if he's a new recruit, when he found the White Lotus eye showpiece, how did he know where to go? How did he know who left it? How did he know the secret password and to do this little magic trick? What? But because I am a fair man, and I am not just hating to hate, despite what some of you may think, this was a well-acted scene between these two. And I don't hate the backstory that Jong Jong is the reason that Liu Ten died by deserting his troop, but you thought they wouldn't find a way to disrespect the goat? Even Uncle Iroh is a man, the voice of reason. Yo, Thanos, get your bitch ass out. Who I heard calling my name? Bruh, it's just your bitch ass. What's good? This is the get back. Bro, I did you absolutely diabolically horrific the last time we fought. You sure you want to go through that again? Let's just say I'm pretty confident I'm going to win this time. Oh, you're confident, huh? Absolutely. I want to let you know that confidence can only get you so far. When it's ass whooping his ass, you're done barking. Can we please get to scrapping? Okay.
Brother said you done barking, cause can we get the scrapping? What the heck?
That's all I need. You should be dead. If you're confident, you should be my ass like that. Big old fucking face, though. That's all I need. All I need is confidence. No, Thanos, get your...
know what coffee I had when I went to Atlanta last time. Went to a Vietnamese restaurant.
Next. Yo, Max, what's going on? What state are you from? Texas. AK-103. That fast? Big, loud, heavy, confident, and fully believes it solves every problem. Yeah, that checks out. Next.
Yeah, that checks out.
I'm from Florida, and I just want to say, last week I saw a guy wrestling something near a gas station.
State.
Florida.
Catcher.
Why the little one?
Cheap, twitchy, and way too comfortable doing something reckless at close range.
That is fair.
Next.
That is fair.
Before we start, I just want to say I'm very intentional about my build.
State.
California.
MCX.
Okay. Why?
Expensive, curated, clean looking, and the owner absolutely talks about the build more than the recoil.
That feels weirdly personal.
Next.
Bro, hurry up. I got stuff to do.
State.
New York.
MP9.
That tiny thing?
Fast, aggressive, loud for no reason, and in your face before you finish a sentence.
Yeah, alright, move it.
Already am. Next.
Hey,
State.
Michigan.
Mossberg 590.
Why that?
Cold weather energy. Practical. No nonsense. Looks like it still works after being left in a garage for 12 years.
That's the nicest thing anybody said to me.
Next.
That's the nicest thing anybody has said to me.
Stylish. Dramatic. Not the most efficient answer, but everybody remembers it.
That's actually beautiful.
It is not. Next. Hey, State. Ohio. SKS.
Why?
Plain. Functional. Everywhere. Somehow still involved. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like an SKS.
I can't see anything.
State.
Louisiana.
MP153.
Why that one?
Swamp gun. Patient gun. Looks like it belongs near water. Bugs. And a man who knows things I do not want explained. Correct. Don't say that like that. Next.
Correct.
Next. Yo, Max, what's going on? What state are you from? Texas. AK-103. That fast? Big, loud, heavy, confident, and fully believes it solves every problem. Yeah, that checks out. Next.
Hey man, I'm from Florida, and I just want to say, last week I saw a guy wrestling something near a gas station.
State.
Florida.
Catcher.
Why the little one?
Cheap, twitchy, and way too comfortable doing something reckless at close range.
That is fair.
Next.
I mean, well, shit, you're from Florida.
E-dating on a new level? What's that bad about editing? Bro, if it annoys you, leave.
Just let them do what they're doing. They're not causing harm to anyone.
E-dating on new level? What's that bad about editing? Bro, if it annoys you, leave.
Just let them do what they're doing. They're not causing harm to anyone.
Vietnamese restaurant with Yeti. We got some pho. And I got some Vietnamese coffee, bro. Vietnamese coffee. Oh my.
Here's some more news about ETDX 4.0 update. So, if you didn't know, a few hours ago, ETDX dropped an announcement about 4.0 update. In the announcement, they mentioned that in a few days, they will drop a trailer for the update. And at the end, they also mentioned a few quotes from the characters that will be added to the 4.0 update. Because of this statement about the rest of the units that's going to be added are all from comics and video games, decidedly.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
The first quote is from Spider-Man. The second one would probably be about Persona 5, since they did stick something about Persona 5 before. Third one is Asura, since they also stick something about Asura at that art before. And the fourth one should be Firefly.
Alright, you have to pick one. Which one of these absolutely horrible life choices are you taking? Option 1, be a mutant and fight the future Sentinels. Bro,
Absolutely not.
You've seen Days of Future Past. Those Sentinels weren't just killing mutants. They were studying them, adapting to them, and then turning your powers into your personal obituary. Oh, you shoot fire? They're fire. Teleport. Wait, they're teleporting too. Oh, you're Wolverine? Congratulations, my nigga. You bought yourself an extra 15 minutes of suffering. The only reason anybody survived that timeline is because Wolverine and Professor X started playing multiversal customer service. Option 2, become Shazam and fight Black Adam. I ain't gonna lie, this shit sounds cool. You get the powers of God. You can fly. You're basically magical Superman. But the problem?
Your opponent is Black Adam.
You will have all your powers, about 5,000 years more of experience. uniform and let me fight Winter Soldier. Because I'd rather get my ass kicked by a traumatized assassin than get erased by killer robot, vaporized by Black Adam, or spend 5 seconds explaining to Dr. Doom why I thought I had a chance. All right, you have
The horse lady for 5 seconds while I thought I had a chance. Yeah, back to lobby after this.
Sure. The worst one. What iteration of this we've got? Very nice compound. That end of the soft armor.
You disappoint me. Is that the best you can get?
1, 2, 3.
Fully grabbed my class queen girlfriend in front of the whole class, and this time I kept my hands in my pockets. In my last life, those same hands had broken Tyler Hayes' mouth for Madison Cole, then signed away my future under a disciplinary notice before the SAT, the most important exam of my life. So, when Madison screamed my name like I was still her personal bodyguard, I smiled, turned around, and walked away. The classroom went dead quiet. Tyler Hayes still had one hand on Madison's wrist. He was tall, athletic, and permanently wearing that rich kid expression that said every hallway in Westbridge High belonged to his family. Which was almost true. His father, Dean Hayes, handled student discipline, and Tyler had been living under that umbrella so long he probably thought school rules were weather. Madison stumbled back from him, face red, eyes already shining. She had the timing, the angle, and the victim tremble ready before the room even decided what it had seen. In my first life, that look had ripped the brain right out of my skull. I had charged across the classroom before anyone could stop me. Tyler laughed. I swung, he went down, and the class exploded. For maybe 10 seconds, I felt like a hero. Then the teachers came. Madison cried in the office and said she never asked me to fight. Tyler's friends said I was jealous. Mr. Morrison, our homeroom teacher, told me senior year was too important for emotional outbursts. Dean Hayes arrived with a face full of righteous disappointment, as if his son had not started the whole thing. I wrote the self-reflection. I apologized. I took the school-wide criticism. That disciplinary record followed me straight into the most important months before the SAT. I missed opportunities I should have fought for. My head never settled again, and the exam that should have changed my life became the day I learned how expensive one stupid punch could be. The funniest part came after graduation. Madison Cole, the girl I had ruined myself defending, started dating Tyler Hayes. Then she married him. So yes, when I opened my eyes and found myself back in this classroom, watching the exact same scene happen again, I did not feel heroic. I felt awake. Logan, Madison called after me. My classmates stared like I had just committed a crime by refusing to perform the expected one. Someone near the back whispered, "Is he seriously leaving?" Tyler's mouth twitched. He looked disappointed. That was the first reward of my second life. The guy had set out bait, and the fish had checked the hook, yawned, and swum away. I made it halfway to the hallway before Madison caught up and grabbed my sleeve. "Logan, what is wrong with you?" Her voice shook, just loud enough for the classroom to hear. "You saw what he did to me." I looked down at her hand on my sleeve. In my last life, I would have heard pain in her voice. This time, all I heard was direction. "Stand here. Get angry. Hit him. Take the blame." "I saw," I said. Madison's eyes widened. "Then why did you walk away?" "Because my legs work." A few people in the doorway sucked in breath. One boy made a sound
Because
that
my
was
legs
almost a
work.
laugh, then swallowed it when Madison turned her wet eyes on him. She pulled me farther into the hall, lowering her voice. "Are you mad at me? Is that it?" I know Tyler was being disgusting, but if you just leave like that, everyone will think you are scared. Under the tremble, the priority was obvious. Image. "Everyone?" I asked. Madison bit her lip. "I mean, you are my boyfriend." That word landed softer than it should have. In the old life, I had lived on crumbs from that word, a smile in the corridor, a late-night message, a casual, you understand me better than anyone, enough sugar to keep a fool walking into fire. I slipped my sleeve out of her fingers. Funny, I said. When trouble shows up, I am your boyfriend. When the teacher asks who started it, I become some random guy with anger issues. Her face stiffened. That is not fair, she whispered. You are right. Fairness left the room when Tyler touched you, and somehow I became the one everyone was waiting to punish. Madison blinked fast, tears gathering again. She was good. I had to give her that. If crying had an entrance exam, she would have gone straight to a top university. I did not ask him to do that, she said. I know. Relief flashed across her face. Then I added, and I did not ask to be your shield. Her hand froze in midair. Behind us, Tyler leaned against the classroom door like he owned the building. Wow, he drawled. Cole, your boyfriend is kind of useless. The old me would have turned around. The current me looked at him once and smiled. Tyler, if you need attention that badly, raise your hand in class. It is free. The hallway cracked. A few students laughed before fear caught up with them. Tyler's face darkened. Madison's tears stopped for half a second, which told me more than the tears ever had. Before Tyler could answer, Mr. Morrison's voice cut down the hall. Logan Miller, Madison Cole, Tyler Hayes, office, now. The school machine had woken up. Inside the teacher's office, the air smelled like old tea, chalk dust, and adult certainty. Mr. Morrison sat behind his desk with his fingers pressed together. Madison stood to one side, eyes lowered. Tyler leaned near the window, already bored. I stood in the middle like the answer key had been filled in before I arrived. Mr. Morrison sighed. Logan, senior year is a critical period. You have always had good grades. Why are you causing trouble now? I almost admired the speed. We had skipped investigation and gone straight to disappointment. Teacher, I said, what trouble did I cause? Mr. Morrison frowned. Do not play word games. Tyler says you provoked him. Madison says there was a misunderstanding. The whole class saw you arguing in the hallway. The whole class also saw Tyler grab Madison. Tyler clicked his tongue. I was joking. Great, I said. Then I am laughing on the inside. Mr. Morrison slapped the desk lightly. Not hard enough to be scary, just hard enough to remind everyone which adult owned the room. Enough. Logan, even if Tyler's behavior was inappropriate, your attitude afterward was terrible. You embarrassed your classmate, spoke sarcastically, and disrupted class order. I nodded slowly. So Tyler grabs someone, Madison drags me into it, and my attitude is the emergency. Madison lifted her face. Logan, why are you saying it like that? I did not drag you into anything. I looked at her. The office went quiet. In my pocket, my phone felt heavier than it should have. I still had the message she sent before class, the one that said Tyler had been bothering her again, the one that asked if I could stay close because she felt scared. In the old life, I never showed it. I thought protecting her meant swallowing the proof. That was how a person trained himself into a doormat and called it love. Mr. Morrison opened a drawer and pulled out a blank school form. Here is what we are going to do. You will write a sincere self-reflection. 1,500 words. You will apologize to Tyler and Madison for escalating the situation. If your attitude is good, I can keep this from becoming a larger disciplinary issue. The universe had gift-wrapped the first tiny victory for me. Same room, same teacher, same trap, different idiot. No, I said. Mr. Morrison stared at me. What did you say? I said no. I am not writing it. Tyler straightened by the window, suddenly interested. Madison's face changed so fast it almost made me laugh. Panic first, then anger, then that soft, pleading look she used when she wanted someone else to pay her bill. Logan, she said quickly, do not be stubborn. Just write it. This is senior year. Do you really want this to become serious? That is exactly why I am not writing it. Mr. Morrison's voice hardened. Do you understand the consequences of refusing a teacher's arrangement? I understand consequences better than anyone in this room. For 1 second, my voice came out too flat. The old exam hall flashed behind my eyes, my shaking hand, the blank space where an answer should have been, my mother's tired smile afterward, pretending my score did not break her heart. The joke died in my throat. Mr. Morrison did not notice. Adults like him rarely notice the human part. They noticed compliance. Fine, he said. Since you refuse to cooperate, I will call your parent. Madison went pale. That was interesting. Mr. Morrison picked up the office phone and found my mother's number in the contact system. As it rang, Madison took 1 step toward me. Logan, she whispered, can you stop making this worse? For who? Her mouth opened. No
For
answer.
who?
Beautiful. My mother arrived 20 minutes later, still wearing the cardigan she used at home when she was rushing out too fast. Her face was tight with worry, and that part hurt. I could laugh at Tyler. I could laugh at Madison. I could even laugh at Mr. Morrison pretending to be fair. I could not laugh at my mother walking into school thinking her son had become the kind of boy who caused trouble over a girl. Logan, she said softly, pulling me aside, tell me what happened. Mr. Morrison started. Mrs. Miller, the situation is already very clear. Then let my son speak, my mother said. The office went still. My mother was not loud. That was what made it work. I took out my phone, opened the chat, and handed it to her. Madison messaged me before class. She said Tyler was bothering her. She said she was scared. In my last, I stopped myself. I thought she wanted help. Then when things got ugly, she acted like I inserted myself. My mother read the message once. Then again, her fingers tightened around my phone. Madison Cole, she said, turning toward the girl by the desk. Did you send this? Madison's eyes filled again. Auntie, I was scared then. I did not mean for Logan to misunderstand. Misunderstand? My mother's voice sharpened. You asked my son for help, then let the teacher treat him like the problem. Tyler snorted. It is just a message. Nobody told him to act like her boyfriend. I glanced at him. Nobody told you to act like a handsy clown either, but here we are. Mr. Morrison snapped. Logan. My mother looked at him. Teacher, my son has proof that Madison asked him for help. Tyler admitted he touched her as a joke. Why is my son the only one being told to write a reflection? For the first time, Mr. Morrison looked uncomfortable. It lasted about 2 seconds. Mrs. Miller, he said, adjusting his glasses. Madison should not have sent a vague message, and Tyler's joking was inappropriate. I will speak to them separately. But setting aside those facts, Logan's attitude is still the biggest issue right now. Mr. Morrison had finally said the quiet part in a full sentence. It was so stupid it deserved a frame. I laughed quietly. Enough for him to hear. Mr. Morrison's face sank. What are you laughing at? Nothing, teacher. I am impressed. Impressed? Yes. Setting aside the facts, could I also be the emperor? If we are putting reality on vacation, I want a better title. My mother's eyes flicked toward me, warning me to stop before my mouth filed its own disciplinary notice. But Mr. Morrison's face turning purple did heal something small inside me. You are mocking your teacher now? He demanded. No. I am asking why the facts only become optional when they help me. The office door opened before he could answer. Dean Hayes stepped in with a folder under his arm, and Tyler's same jawline on his face. If anyone ever needed proof that school politics could be hereditary, there it was. He did not look at Tyler first. He looked at me. Logan Miller, he said. I heard you refused to write a self-reflection and insulted your homeroom teacher. I looked from him to Tyler, then back again. Fast news service. Dean Hayes' eyes cooled. This attitude is exactly the problem. Your grades are good, but grades are not everything. A student who does not respect teachers cannot stay at Westbridge High and poison the learning environment. My mother stepped forward. Dean Hayes, my son showed proof that this girl asked him for help. Your son was involved too. Dean Hayes finally glanced at Tyler with a father's quick inventory check, like he was making sure the family vase had no scratch. Tyler will be educated at home, he said. Tyler looked at the floor. He was trying not to smile. My mother saw it. Her face changed. Good. It hurt her, but the fog was clearing. Dean Hayes continued. The issue now is Logan's refusal to accept school discipline. He disrupted class, argued with classmates, talked back to his teacher, and now mocks the office process. Mrs. Miller, I understand parents protect their children, but senior year leaders are for this kind of instability. Instability, I repeated. That word had followed me in the old life too. Unstable, emotional, jealous, impulsive. They never called Tyler protected. They never called Madison dishonest. The labels always landed on the person without a dean for a father. Dean Hayes placed the folder on Mr. Morrison's desk. Here are your options. Logan writes a sincere self-reflection, apologizes to Mr. Morrison and the students involved, and accepts a formal warning. Or he can leave Westbridge High. We cannot teach a student who refuses basic discipline. My mother went still. The same wall rose in front of me, painted with nicer lines. In my first life, this was where I folded. I told myself one apology was cheaper than losing the school. One self-reflection was cheaper than worrying my parents. One lie on paper was cheaper than a fight with adults. Then one lie became a record. Then one record became a missed chance. Then one missed chance became years of waking up with my chest full of sand. I looked at Madison. She had tears on her face again, but her eyes were fixed on me with something sharper than fear. She wanted me cornered. She wanted me to choose the old script because the old script had worked beautifully for her. I looked at Tyler. He was safe enough to be bored. I looked at Mr. Morrison. He was waiting for my head to lower. Finally, I anger was still there, but worry had climbed over it. She was thinking about my future, my file, the SAT, the school reputation, all the words adults used when they wanted a child to swallow something bitter and call it medicine. I gave her a small smile. Mom, I said. Do not worry, she whispered. Logan, I am not writing a fake confession. Dean Hayes' mouth tightened. Then you understand what that means. I do. I turned back to him. If Westbridge High needs me to pretend Tyler did nothing, Madison said nothing, and Mr. Morrison saw nothing, then I am done here. Madison flinched. I kept going before anyone could interrupt. I will transfer. The office fell silent. Even Tyler's bored face cracked a little. Dean Hayes stared at me as if students were not supposed to know exits existed. Mr. Morrison recovered first. Do not speak impulsively. This is the final stretch before the SAT. Transferring now could ruin your future. I almost smiled again. In another life, staying here had already done that. Teacher, I said, my future survived one death. It can survive a transfer. My mother sucked in a breath. Madison's face went white. Dean Hayes' eyes narrowed because he thought I was being dramatic. That was fine. Let him think that. I picked up my phone from my mother's hand and slid it back into my pocket. The proof was still there. My hands were still clean. Tyler Hayes was still standing. Madison Cole was still lying. Westbridge High was still Westbridge High. The only thing that had changed was me. I bowed my head.
All right, brother, because I got everything.
Let's go.
It's me, shrugging emoji. What if my tuition goes up while earning my degree?
At University of Phoenix?
The only problem is now I need to get 5,000 kills.
Make sure lock in affordable tuition at University of Phoenix.
Let's go home after this, I said. Tomorrow, we asked about Brookfield High, and for the first time since I woke up in this cursed day again, the path ahead looked hard, but possible. The news that I might transfer reached homeroom 204 before I did. By the time Mr. Morrison pushed open the classroom door, half the class had already decided I was the villain of their personal tragedy. They skipped Tyler, who started the fight bait. They skipped Madison, who had invited me into the mess and then cried like she had been kidnapped by my bad attitude. Somehow, the blame landed on me. Amazing. I had been reborn for less than one school day, and already the group project was blaming the one person who refused to carry it. Mr. Morrison stood at the lectern with his face tight enough to crack. Mrs. Miller was still beside me, holding her handbag with both hands, trying to look calm for my sake. Dean Hayes had gone ahead, probably to prepare the official version where his son remained a misunderstood athlete, and I became a dangerous social problem in need of a stamp. Class, Mr. Morrison said, because Logan Miller refuses to recognize his mistake, this matter has now become more serious. The teacher voice arrived. Soft enough to sound reasonable.
Yeah, I just need the kills. That's it.
Into a jury.
Yeah, I just need the kills for both of them now.
Her eyes were red again. If crying were an elective, she would have been recommended to a national team. Someone near the window muttered, just apologize already. Another voice said louder, yeah, why drag everyone into this? Ryan Brooks, my desk mate, leaned back so far his chair almost gave up on him. He looked at me with the horror of a man watching his answer key walk into the ocean. Bro, Ryan whispered, if you leave, who am I supposed to copy physics from? That was Ryan. Class loyalty, but make it academically parasitic. I dropped my bag beside my desk and said, this is the most touching reason anyone has ever asked me to stay. Ryan pressed one hand to his chest. I am speaking from the heart. The class laughed in patches, which annoyed Mr. Morrison more than my refusal had. He rapped his knuckles on the lectern. This is not funny. Logan, stand in the back. Since you do not want to reflect in writing, perhaps you can reflect standing. I looked at Mrs. Miller. She looked back at me, still worried, but not confused anymore. She had seen Madison's message. She had heard Mr. Morrison say, with his own mouth, that facts could be set aside. That did something to me. In the last life, I had spent years feeling like even my own explanations came out covered in mud. This time, one person who mattered had seen the clean version before anyone could smear it. I picked up my bag again. No, thank you, I said. I already reflected. I found the problem. Mr. Morrison's mouth flattened. And what is the problem? This school. The classroom went still. Beautiful silence. Expensive silence. The kind schools only produced when a student said the quiet part in a public room. Madison looked up quickly. Tyler was not in the classroom anymore, which made sense. Protected boys did not wait around for paperwork. They were always mysteriously absent when consequences came to collect rent. Mr. Morrison pointed toward the door. Office, now. Mrs. Miller stepped forward before I could answer. If Logan is transferring, what paperwork do we need? Mr. Morrison's expression twitched. For all his talk about discipline, he had not expected my mother to help me leave. Adults like him liked parents frightened and obedient. A mother asking for forms was a different species. Mrs. Miller, he said, softening his voice into fake patience, a transfer at this stage is not simple. The SAT is approaching. Brookfield High is not Westbridge High. Logan is being emotional. I smiled. Teacher, if you say for your own good, I might start charging tuition. Ryan made a strangled sound behind me. Mrs. Miller did not smile. She only said, please give us the paperwork. Mr. Morrison held that look for 3 seconds, probably searching for the version of this scene where he still controlled us. Then he opened a drawer, pulled out a transfer and withdrawal packet, and slapped it on the desk. You will need signatures from me, the great office, Dean Hayes, and Principal Bennett. Since Logan insists on destroying his own future, the school will not stop him. Good, I said. I hate when people stand in front of destruction. It blocks the lighting. Logan, my mother said, because she was still my mother, and even righteous rebellion had a volume limit. I took the forms. The first signature was Mr. Morrison's. He uncapped his pen, then paused, letting the nib hover over the paper. Last chance. Write the self-reflection. Apologize to Madison and Tyler. I can still persuade Dean Hayes to treat this as a misunderstanding. Madison made a tiny sound from her desk, a perfect little broken note. In the last life, that sound would have dragged me like a hook through the ribs. I would have started apologizing before I knew what crime I was admitting to. This time, I saw the hook. That made it less romantic. I have a trade, I said. Mr. Morrison narrowed his eyes. What trade? If you apologize to my mother for accusing me without checking the message, I might consider staying long enough to win the Physics Olympiad slot for homeroom 204. Miss Parker, the physics teacher, had walked in during that last sentence. She stopped near the door with a stack of papers under her arm, eyes moving from my face to the form. For a second, she looked honestly startled. That was the first teacher face all day that did not make me want to ask where they kept the school blindfolds. Logan, Miss Parker said, you are transferring? Trying to. But the Olympiad recommendation list is due soon. Your scores are... She stopped, maybe realizing the room did not need another adult accidentally confessing what Westbridge High was about to lose. Mr. Morrison heard it anyway. His hand tightened around the pen. I turned back to him. One apology. Very simple. You can say, Mrs. Miller, I set aside facts, and that was embarrassing for me as an educator. I can even accept a shorter version. The class made another low noise. Mr. Morrison signed so hard the paper dented. There, he said. Since you are determined to go, go. Early payoff, stamped in black ink. He thought he was dismissing me. He had just made my exit official. I took the form from his hand. Thank you, teacher. I knew we could solve this peacefully. Miss Parker followed us into the hallway and tried to slow the fall with one reasonable sentence. Logan, transferring this close to exams is risky. If this is only anger, wait one day. Reasonable advice. Terrible timing. If this were only anger, I would, I said. But Mr. Morrison asked me to sign a lie. Dean Hayes threatened my file because his son was involved. If I stay, I am not studying under teachers. I am negotiating with people who can change facts when facts make them uncomfortable. Miss Parker looked at the form, then toward the classroom door. Dean Hayes' son! I said nothing. She understood anyway. Brookfield High has good teachers too, she said quietly. Keep your physics stable. And do not waste your talent just to prove a point. That one hit closer than I liked. In a last life, I'd wasted time, sleep, pride, and the kind of belief parents did not get back once a school taught them to doubt their own child. I nodded. I am leaving to stop wasting it. Mrs. Miller tightened her grip on her handbag. Then we finished the forms. The great office tried one last round of official theater. Dean Hayes sat behind his desk like he had personally invented consequences, while Principal Bennett read my transfer application with the expression of a man discovering a crack in his clean wall and blaming the crack for existing.
We're looking for adults 45 and under to be in our HPV vaccination ad. Sound like you?
Not me. In a relationship.
If you're sexually active and unvaccinated, it could still be you.
I'm too old.
If you're under 45, you're not.
Oh, I didn't put the what's the name. Oh, I didn't put the what's the name.
Logan Miller, Principal Bennett said. Your academic record is strong. Your conduct record was also clean before today. Before today, I repeated. Very educational phrase. Dean Hayes tapped the form. Your attitude is the issue. My attitude did not call Madison downstairs, ask me to fight Tyler, or threaten my file when I refused to lie. Principal Bennett looked at my mother. A transfer will affect review materials, teacher recommendations, and contest support. Translation: we own several gates and would like you to remember that. My mother heard the hidden cost first. Parents always did. I stepped half a pace forward. Then correct the accusation. Mr. Morrison apologizes to my mother. Westbridge High states in writing that I did not beat Tyler, did not harass Madison, and did not need discipline. Then we can discuss whether I stay. Dean Hayes laughed once. You want the school to apologize to a student? No, I said. To a mother you tried to scare with a fake record. That was when the joke stopped. Principal Bennett closed the folder. Dean Hayes, sign the application. Dean Hayes stared at him. Principal Bennett, if the family insists, we cannot force him to remain. Westbridge High did not apologize, correct the rumor, or promise to clean my name. It only signed fast enough to push the scene out of its building before more people noticed the smoke. Dean Hayes signed. Principal Bennett signed after him. I took the form back and checked each signature carefully. Dean Hayes snorted. Do you think we would cheat you on a form? No, I said. I think you would set aside facts, so I am developing healthy habits.
All right, crazy.
Principal Bennett looked like he had swallowed a lemon seed and found out it had tenure. We were almost out when Dean Hayes spoke again. Brookfield High will not protect you from your temper, Logan. Without Westbridge High's platform, you may find out what you really are. I stopped at the door. In the old life, a dean's voice had sounded like the future. Now it sounded like Tyler in a suit. Dean Hayes, I said, if your son had my temper, he would have taken responsibility.
Yeah, I don't have enough.
Then I left before my mother could decide whether to scold me or secretly enjoy it. The signature change should have taken a day. It took 1 hour because Westbridge High suddenly discovered efficiency. Nothing moved faster than an institution disposing of a problem it had created. By lunch, the class knew I was leaving. I came back to clear my desk, and everyone pretended not to watch while absolutely watching. The room had that funeral mood students created when drama became real enough to affect seating arrangements. Ryan stood beside my desk with a notebook in his hands. I prepared something, he said solemnly. I looked at the notebook. Is that a goodbye letter? No. The last 3 physics problems you solved yesterday. I need closure. Ryan. You cannot abandon me with Mr. Morrison in a blank workbook. There are laws. Name one. The law of friendship. That law does not apply to copying homework. Ryan thought about it. Then, the law of community service. I laughed despite myself and took the notebook. I wrote the method for the 3 problems, shorter than usual. Ryan leaned over my shoulder like I was drafting a will. Are you really going to Brookfield High? He asked, quieter. Yes. People are saying you got kicked out. People can say what they want. Madison is crying again. Hydration is important. Ryan gave me a look. You were scary when you were calm. I was scarier when I was stupid. He did not understand that line, but I did. The old me had been loud, loyal, and extremely convenient to manipulate. Calm Logan was new. Calm Logan had forms, screenshots, and a mother who knew the truth. I finished the last problem and tore out the page. Ryan tucked it into his book like sacred scripture. For what it is worth, I do not think you were wrong. That was Ryan's version of an emotional speech. Efficient, slightly damp from homework dependence, but sincere. Thanks, I said. He leaned closer. Also, if Westbridge High starts acting weird about you, I will message you. Why? Because I love gossip, and you are my most valuable gossip investment. There it is. Ryan grinned. Friendship. I packed my books. Madison stood up when I reached the door. The class went quiet so fast it was almost embarrassing. Everyone wanted the breakup scene, preferably with subtitles. Logan, Madison said. Her voice shook.
Probably with subtitles.
Her eyes were red, but this time I could see the calculation under the tears. She needed one last version where she had tried.
I mean, sure, if you want to join me, I can get out of this soon.
I refused her softness. She stopped in the hallway, just outside the classroom door. Can we talk? Mrs. Miller was waiting farther down the hall, giving me space, but not leaving me alone. I appreciated that more than I knew how to say. I looked at Madison. Talk. Madison's lashes trembled. I am sorry. I really did not mean for it to become this big. I was scared. Tyler was angry, and I thought if you helped me, everything would calm down. By helped you, you mean took the blame. I just... She glanced toward the classroom, where 20 faces were failing at pretending not to listen. I knew you cared about me. The knife came with a ribbon on it. For a second, I did not see the hallway. I saw the old life. Madison in a graduation dress, smiling beside Tyler. My parents tired me.
Yeah, I know. I'm not surprised.
Hands after the fight, bruised and useless, holding a future that had already cracked. I had wanted her to would choose me so badly that I had volunteered to become disposable. That memory was humiliating. It was also useful. Pain made an excellent highlighter. Madison, I said, you were never scared I would get hurt. You were scared I would stop being useful. Her face went pale. That is not true. Then why did you ask me to apologize after you saw Tyler provoke me? She opened her mouth, then closed it. Good. Silence. Finally, a language she could speak honestly. I took out my phone. Her contact name still sat there from the old habit, soft and familiar. I deleted it in front of her. Madison's eyes widened. Logan, don't. I already did. We can still be friends.
Ah.
Friends do not need me to bleed so their reputation stays pretty. She flinched, and for a second I almost felt cruel. Then I remembered my mother's face in that office. The pathetic part, I said, quieter, is that if you keep choosing Tyler's protection over the truth, you will end up beside him and call it fate. She stared at me like I had cursed her. Maybe I had. Or maybe I was only reading the ending from a book I had already survived. I turned away before she could cry herself into another courtroom. Behind me, Ryan whispered, that was brutal. I did not look back. Write it down. It might be on the exam. The last thing I did before leaving Westbridge High was return my borrowed classroom key to Mr. Morrison's desk. He was in the office, pretending to grade papers. He did not look up. You will regret this, he said. Probably, I said. I regret lots of things. That is why I am improving. He finally lifted his eyes. Brookfield High will not turn you into a hero. I do not need a school to turn me into anything. That line sounded arrogant even to me, but sometimes arrogance was just confidence said, near people who preferred you smaller. Mrs. Miller and I walked out through the front gate together. She did not ask me again if I was sure. She only waited until we were outside before she said, Logan, tell me honestly, can Brookfield High accept you this late? Yes. How? They have empty seats, my grades are good, and Westbridge High just signed the forms quickly enough to make themselves look suspicious. She gave me a tired look. That is not a complete plan. It is a very handsome outline. Logan? So I stopped joking.
When you become a Shell Fuel Rewards member, you'll get more. Like saving 10 cents per gallon on your first fill, 20 cents per gallon on your second, 30 cents per gallon on your third, and more savings on every fill after that. Join today.
Mom, I know I scared you today. I know transferring now is risky, but staying there is riskier, but staying there is riskier. If I sign a false confession once, every adult in that building learns I can be pushed. I cannot take the SAT with my throat under their shoe. She looked away.
I'm not surprised. No, it's still counting. It's still counting for Sanji. She just gonna take a lot of kills though.
My mother chose my truth over their reputation.
But I'm gonna move her. I'm gonna move her a little further back. Because I know she would, but I'm gonna move her further back.
The gate paint was chipped, and the campus did not have Westbridge High's clean demonstration school shine. I liked it immediately. Places that looked perfect had started making me nervous. That evening, after dinner, I opened my laptop and logged into the forum for Exit Pass. The story had been my secret side life for months. A ridiculous one, if you asked most teachers. A student writing serialized fiction before the SAT. Criminal behavior. Clearly, the next step was stealing chalk and forming a gang. But the comments were real. When I posted a short hiatus note, the replies came faster than I expected. One reader wrote that if the author vanished before the next chapter, they would personally fail all their mock exams in protest. Another asked whether I had been kidnapped by homework. A third wrote, Author, do simple things repeatedly. Update, eat, sleep. Update. I stared at that one for a long time. Do simple things repeatedly. In the last life, I had made everything complicated. Love, loyalty, rage, pride. I had treated every insult like a fire and every tear like an emergency siren. This time, the simple things mattered. Do not fight Tyler. Do not sign lies. Do not let Madison hold the steering wheel. Study, write, protect my parents, find Emma before the world buried her under other people's noise. I typed one line under the hiatus notice. The author is transferring schools. Updates will resume when the author survives the seating chart. The comments exploded.
All right, because I'm gonna stop at wave 25 and leave. I'm gonna stop at wave 25.
Wait, are you saying you were the author? I stared at the screen. I messaged, Ryan, you were supposed to admire the sentence structure. Ryan Brooks messaged, Bro. I messaged, keep this quiet. Ryan Brooks messaged, define quiet. I messaged, the opposite of you. Ryan Brooks messaged,
The opposite of you. He said keep it quiet. That's what he said, define quiet. The opposite of you. Duh.
Some humiliations were love Ms. Anderson met us near the office. She was brisk, sharp-eyed, and did not.
I wish I had her card. I wish I had her card. I wish I had her memoria. I do not at all.
Checked me. Logan Miller, she said. Your previous
I wish I had memoria.
classmates. Very generous of them, I said. They set aside many facts to reach that sentence. Ms. Anderson's mouth twitched. My mother shot me a warning look, but it had less panic in it than yesterday. Progress. Ms. Anderson closed the folder. Your grades are strong. Your conduct note is vague. I will judge you by what you do in my classroom. I almost applauded. Instead, I nodded. That is fair. She led me toward the senior class corridor. The noise inside her classroom spilled through the door before we reached it. New school, same student species.
But she's still a good. That's the funny thing. Even though I do not have Monarch on her, she's still a very good support.
Ms. Anderson put her hand on the door.
She's still a very good support.
You can start there. I looked through the narrow window in the door, and there she was. Emma Blake sat by the window, glasses low on her nose, writing in a notebook with the careful focus of someone trying not to occupy too much air. In the last life, she had been a quiet name I noticed too late. People mocked her for being dull because she did not perform. After graduation, she turned out to have more depth, money, talent, and patience than half the school combined. More importantly, she had never once used me as a shield. Ms. Anderson opened the door. The class turned. I stepped into Brookfield High with my transfer form still warm from yesterday's signatures and asked the first useful question of my new life. Teacher, can I sit next to Emma Blake? Ms. Anderson looked from me to the seating chart, then from the seating chart to the very quiet girl by the window. Emma Blake looked up too. Her eyes widened behind her glasses, which was understandable.
Yeah, she also helps when she's not on the field, which makes her low key kind of broken too.
Subtle, low-key, practically invisible. The class was not subtle either.
All right, hold on, time to go.
Stop moving. Someone near the back whispered, "He knows Emma?" Another student whispered back, "Maybe he transferred for her." That was fast. Brookfield High gossip had better reflexes than Westbridge High discipline. Ms. Anderson cleared her throat. Logan Miller, do you know Emma? I know of her, I said. That sounded suspicious because it was suspicious. I can hardly say, in my last life, I failed to notice that the quiet girl beside the window was one of the few people in this age group with actual character, so I am correcting the universe's seating arrangement. Even I knew when to edit. Ms. Anderson studied my face. Emma, is the seat beside you open? Emma glanced at the empty desk, then at me, then back down at her notebook. Yes, teacher. Her voice was soft enough that the room leaned in to hear it. Then sit there, Ms. Anderson said to me. But before that, introduce yourself. I walked to the front. The class had already built a version of me before I opened my mouth. Transfer from Westbridge High. Conflict with classmates. Rumor of a fight. Possibly a simp. Possibly expelled. Possibly expelled. Possibly all of the above with both.
That's fine.
I gave them my most harmless smile.
Wait a minute, I can get
My grades are average, my character is excellent, and I absolutely never fight. For half a second, the room froze. Then laughter broke out. Ms. Anderson pressed her lips together, clearly trying not to reward me on my first day. Average grades, average for my future standards. And the part about never fighting?
Oh no, why is it him?
This time, even Ms. Anderson's eyes curved.
Why is it him?
First rule of surviving a rumor: do not let the rumor decide your posture. If they expected shame, give them shamelessness. If they expected violence, give them a greeting card smile, and make them wonder whether the violence had been outsourced. Ms. Anderson pointed toward Emma's row. Sit down. And Logan? Yes, teacher? In this class, jokes do not replace homework. Understood. I will use them as supplemental material. The class laughed again. I carried my bag to the window seat. Emma quietly moved her books closer to her side, not in a rude way, more like someone making sure I had enough room without requiring a conversation about it. That tiny movement told me more than a welcome speech would have. Thank you, Miss Blake, I said softly as I sat. She blinked. Miss Blake, respectful address. We are classmates. Then I will use it respectfully as a classmate.
Oh, I'm at 3,000. Okay, so I'm at 3,000. I'm almost done.
Quite a smile thinking about applying for permission. Because one school transfer had taught my mouth zero survival skills, I leaned slightly closer and asked, Miss Blake, do you have a boyfriend? Her pen stopped. The nearby desks went quiet in a way that proved the whole class had suddenly developed excellent hearing. Emma stood up with her notebook pressed to her chest. I need to ask Miss Anderson about question 5. We have not opened the book yet. Then, question 6. She escaped to the lectern before I could make it worse. On my first morning at Brookfield High, I had already made my new desk mate flee without leaving my chair. Personal development goal number 2, become less alarming. The next period was self-study, which meant 40 seniors pretended to work while
Yeah, I know. I was gonna buy food for Luffy.
the class monitor turned around first. Owen Fisher, did you really transfer because you fought over a girl? No, I said. Westbridge High discovered my character was too excellent for their storage capacity. Someone choked on a laugh. Across the aisle, Chloe Harper leaned on her elbow. English class representative, social weather system, and, in the old life, one of Madison's little bridges into Brookfield High gossip. Logan Miller, right? Chloe said. I know Madison Cole from elementary school. The past had arrived before lunch. Efficient, annoying. Condolences, I said. Chloe's eyebrows shot up. Emma's pen paused. Madison told people you liked her a lot, Chloe said. She told the truth once. Historic day. And now? I opened my notebook. Now I am retired from unpaid bodyguard work. Before Chloe could decide whether to laugh or dig harder, Mason Cooper stood near the back door. He had the shoulders of someone who played basketball like the backboard had personally insulted him. New guy, Mason said. Do not flirt with Chloe on your first day. Every school had a Mason, sometimes truly dangerous, sometimes a walking warning label powered by insecurity and cafeteria protein. The trick was waiting for receipts. I am not flirting, I said. Mason stared. I pointed at my notebook. I am networking. The class exploded. Chloe laughed loudest, which did nothing helpful for Mason's blood pressure. Emma leaned slightly toward me and whispered, Mason might actually hit people. The humor stopped where it needed to. She was not controlling the scene. She was warning me because she thought I might not understand the room yet. I lowered my voice. Then I will not hit back first. That is not very comforting. It is legally thoughtful. She pressed her lips together, almost smiling despite herself. Mason sat down, still watching me. Fine. I had handled Tyler by refusing the old trap. I could handle Mason by refusing to become Tyler with better grades. Miss Anderson returned with a stack of English reading papers and dropped them on the lectern. Since everyone is so interested in our new classmate, she said, short reading test, 20 minutes, no discussion. I loved teachers like Miss Anderson. She saw a gossip fire and poured an exam on it. Chloe handed out papers with a smile. Average grades, right? Deeply average. Then I will be gentle when I beat you. Please do. My character is fragile. Emma ignored us and began reading. That was another thing I liked about her. In a classroom full of people trying to become a headline, she lived like a footnote with excellent handwriting. The test was not hard. I had already lived through this year once, and some grammar traps had the cozy smell of a teacher who reused favorite knives. I finished in 8 minutes and spent 5 more pretending to struggle, because walking into a new school and immediately acting like a human answer key lacks diplomacy. When Miss Anderson collected the papers, Mason looked over. Done already? Westbridge High does tests with guessing? Only on days with good weather. Careful. Brookfield High is not your old school. I noticed. The teachers here read evidence. Miss Anderson looked up. Logan. Sorry, teacher. Supplemental material. Less supplemental, more quiet. I shut up, mostly. During the break, Miss Anderson marked fast. Chloe waited near the lectern, badly pretending not to care. Mason sharpened a pencil with hostile commitment. Emma reviewed her answers with one finger on the page. Chloe, 2 wrong, Miss Anderson said. Good. Emma, 3 wrong. Much better on inference. Then she picked up my paper. Her pen slowed. That was the kind of silence students could smell. Logan. Yes, teacher. How many questions did you think you missed? Quite a few. Miss Anderson held up the paper. 1. Snapped toward me. Chloe's smile froze. Mason made a sound that might have been a cough if coughs had enemies. I looked genuinely regretful because I was enjoying myself. Anything less than perfect is failure. The class erupted. Miss Anderson put my paper on the desk. 98, highest in the class today. Average for future standards, I reminded her. 1 more sentence, and I will average your mouth with the hallway. Understood. Emma looked at the paper for 1 careful second. You are good at English. Her tone was not flattery. It was observational, clean, and direct. A little, I said. You said average. I have a flexible relationship with humility. This time she smiled properly. Small, quick, gone almost before I could prove it had existed. That tiny smile gave me a stronger hit than the 98. I was reborn, not made of concrete. By lunch, the rumor had upgraded itself. I was no longer only the Westbridge High transfer who fought over Madison Cole. I was the transfer who denied the fight, insulted Madison's friendship value, irritated Mason, and scored 98 while calling it failure. Messy brand. Real motion. Emma's friend Grace came over with her lunchbox. Emma, everyone is talking about him. Emma looked at me, then back to her. He is sitting here. I know. That is why I lowered my voice. You did not lower it very much, I said. Grace smiled. Then pretend I did. Chloe joined us before the
Oh yeah, I need her. I remember I need her. I didn't know Curse Doctor was Shoka. I do need her.
I have come here to destroy you, just like my father, mother, and their allies before me. No one believed me when I said the newest vanguard would be a girl. God has given you another chance, Rose. You must use it wisely to better control your curse and strengthen yourself.
You are no more irritating failure. What makes you think to insult me this time?
peaceful. Logan, do you read Exit Pass? My hand paused over my lunch. The title had followed me through the school gate faster than expected. The author posted a hiatus note last night, Chloe said. Said he transferred schools. Several heads turned. Ryan, wherever he was at Westbridge High, had either kept quiet or defined quiet in the broadest possible way known to mankind. Emma's eyes flicked toward me. You read it? A little. Grace leaned in. Everyone in our class forum was yelling about the hiatus. The writing is really good. The author sounds arrogant, Mason said from behind us. I turned. That is a literary technique. You know him? Very well. Chloe's eyes brightened. Wait, really? Intimately. The table went quiet. Emma blinked. I realized half a second too late that intimately was not the best word to use around a serialized novel and a girl who took language very literally. I coughed once, as in, I understand his creative habits. Grace laughed into her hand. Emma looked down at her lunch, ears faintly pink. I filed that under. Be careful, you idiot. Chloe loved the crack in my composure. Can you ask him to update? The author is recovering from a traumatic seating chart experience. So you do know him. I know many people. I am popular in hidden places, Mason said. Sounds fake. Your skepticism is valuable to the community. Miss Anderson walked past with her lunch tray and said without slowing down, Logan, if I hear you starting a cult on your first day, I will separate the seating chart. I put one hand over my heart. Teacher, I am promoting literature. Promote it quietly. Yes, teacher. Emma's shoulders shook once. A silent laugh. That was a better review than the forum. The afternoon Chinese period belonged to Mr. Whitman. Mr. Whitman was different from Miss Anderson. She looked like she could organize chaos into rows. He looked like he had spent years watching students murder essays and had developed patience as a survival organ. He entered with a thermos, a stack of composition books, and the mild expression of a man who could destroy your thesis statement without raising his voice.
Now that I think about it,
Logan Miller. I stood. Here, sit. I have seen your file. Strong overall, but Chinese scores from Westbridge High are inconsistent.
honestly, when I think about it, why have they never brought in more Bleach Quincy characters in any game? Because some games have brought in more Quincy characters, but a lot of them haven't really brought in like a lot of Bleach Quincy characters. Especially with like a full Quincy team would do very well actually. Especially if they have like I would say a connection with Yuhabak and Uryu. Like they all synergize together.
Academic jaywalking. Emma noticed first. She looked at my phone, then at Mr. Whitman, then back at me. Her eyes widened in a silent warning. I slid the phone halfway under my notebook. Too late. Mr. Whitman stopped speaking. Logan Miller. The whole class turned. Again, I was beginning to suspect my low-key plan had structural weaknesses. I stood slowly. Mr. Whitman walked down the aisle and held out his hand. Phone. I gave it to him with the screen still open. In my defense, locking the screen would have looked guiltier. Also in my defense, I had terrible instincts around writing drafts. Mr. Whitman read the 3 lines. His expression changed. Not angry, interested. That was more dangerous. You wrote this? He asked. Yes, teacher. During my class. Also, yes. I believe in full confession when the evidence is glowing. The class laughed, but softly. Mr. Whitman did not. He turned the phone face down before the nearest row could lean in. Hallway, he said. I followed him outside. The door closed behind us, cutting off the classroom buzz. Mr. Whitman held my phone between two fingers and scrolled just far enough to reach the draft folder header. Exit pass. His eyes lifted to mine. This is yours? Yes. Can you prove it? I took the phone, opened the author dashboard, and showed him the back end. Drafts, comments, posting history, all of it. Mr. Whitman's sternness shifted into something like reluctant delight. Your pacing is good, he said. Thank you. Your chapter endings are shameless. Also thank you. Your punctuation occasionally commits crimes. That one felt less like a compliment. He handed the phone back. You are talented, Logan. That does not give you permission to write during class. Understood. And talent in serialized fiction does not automatically mean your exam composition will rank first. I knew where this was going. Teachers loved turning compliments into homework. It was their natural hunting pattern. Mr. Whitman continued, there is a 4-school joint mock exam coming. Westbridge High, Brookfield High, Northgate High, and Fairview Prep. If you can rank first in Chinese for Brookfield High, I will allow you to use spare class time for writing after you complete assigned work. If you cannot, your phone stays with me during Chinese period. Only Brookfield High first? His eyebrow rose. Are you negotiating upward? I am clarifying the size of my cage. Fine. Rank first in Chinese across the 4 schools. That was supposed to scare me. It did, a little. The challenge was possible, but public challenges had a way of attracting public failure. In the last life, I had made my...
All right, so basically almost there for freaking... I'm almost done. done. I probably shouldn't have gotten Monarch on fucking Luffy first. Before I evolved him, I probably shouldn't have got that on.
No, teacher. I am trying to do simple things repeatedly. He smiled at that, quick and approving. Then start with putting your phone away. Simple, painful, educational. When we returned to the classroom, the room pretended to be normal and failed at an elite level. Chloe had already written something in her notebook and shoved it toward Grace. Owen was turned halfway around. Mason was staring like I had personally insulted the concept of literacy. As I passed Chloe's desk, she slid one folded scrap of paper toward the edge. Exit pass?
Yeah, I gotta remember to have this on. I gotta remember to have this on.
Class, he said. Logan Miller, unrelated material.
Because I forget that this increases my damage and range.
Also accepted a challenge. That was when I stopped nodding. Mr. Whitman looked at me with teacherly innocence. Betrayal but educational. On the 4-school joint mock exam, Logan will aim for first place in Chinese across all participating schools. If he succeeds, I will permit him to write after completing class assignments. If he fails, his phone will be managed during my period. The classroom absorbed that. Then Owen said, across all 4 schools? Chloe turned to me. You agreed to that? Mason laughed once. First day and already acting like a legend. I sat down beside Emma and opened my Chinese textbook. Emma looked at me with genuine worry. Can you do it? That question did not have mockery in it. It had concern. I wanted to joke. I almost did. But her hand rested near the edge of her notebook, fingers tense, and I remembered her earlier warning about Mason. Emma took other people's dangers seriously, even when she barely knew them, so I answered plainly, I can try. She nodded, small and solemn. Then, good luck. Thank you, Miss Blake. She glanced down. You still call me that, respectfully. It sounds strange. I can stop if you dislike it. She thought about it for a second. I did not say I dislike it. My brain, which had handled administrative threats, public rumors, and a 4-school exam challenge with reasonable function, briefly lost all professional discipline. Chloe saw my face and whispered from across the aisle. Oh, he is done. I heard that, I said. Good, Chloe said. It was for you, Mason muttered. Ridiculous. Maybe it was. By the end of that first day...
I'm gonna be right back. I'm finna go do some stuff. Which is, the stuff is, I'm finna go take my medicine and make something to eat.
I was no longer just the transfer from Westbridge High. I was the guy with the suspicious fight rumor, the one wrong English paper, the possible author identity, the seat beside Emma Blake, Chloe Harper's interest, Mason Cooper's irritation, and Mr. Whitman's public challenge sitting on my desk like a live grenade. That was a lot for one day. Low-key was dead. We held a brief memorial and moved on. When the final bell rang, Emma packed her books carefully. She moved slower than everyone else, giving the crowd time to eat. I recognized the tactic because I had used versions of it after disciplinary meetings in the old life. Sometimes you did not wait because you were slow. You waited because attention hurt. I did not rush her. Grace left with Chloe, though Chloe glanced back twice. Mason left with two boys from the back row, bumping one desk harder to make a point. So, when the seat was nearly empty, Amanda looked at me. Logan, untouchable? No, I said.
All right, brother, we can leave now. It's been quite a while.
Do not run. There were many things I could have said. Several were excellent. None were worth making Emma cry.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. We can leave now.
After school, Emma turned toward me as soon as Mason left. You can tell Miss
How many
Anderson
kills do I have for
I can't.
Luffy? Because
You?
yeah.
I looked at the doorway where Mason had been. The obvious solution was a teacher report. In a clean world, that would be enough. In our world, it would turn into 3 new rumors before dinner. Emma made Logan complain. Chloe cried because of Emma. Mason was only protecting a classmate. The school would warn him. He would wait off campus. And
I'm like, game, I'm already back. Calm the heck down.
asked to star in. If I report it now, your name becomes part of it, I said. I do not want that. Then what will you do? Keep my hands clean. She did not look comforted. Fair. That sentence sounded better after results. I texted Ryan during the next break. I messaged, does your cousin still do adult security for school events? Ryan Brooks messaged, depends who is asking, a paying customer or a tragic abandoned physics tutor? I messaged, both. Ryan Brooks messaged, what happened? I messaged, Mason is bringing people to Brookfield High Gate. Ryan Brooks messaged, how many? I messaged, I am hoping 15 to 20. For dignity. Ryan Brooks messaged, you are emotionally unwell. I messaged, can your cousin bring witnesses, cameras, and adults who look expensive to annoy? Ryan Brooks
Hey,
messaged,
AJ.
yes. He says no fighting. I messaged, perfect. Fighting is for people who hate their exam records. The only problem was cash. My money was at home, and Ryan's cousin wanted a call-out fee because adults did not assemble in vans for the honor of my character development. I sat down beside Emma before evening self-study. I need to ask an uncomfortable favor.
Yeah,
I said.
that
She
what
looked
was
up at me.
way
How
past
much?
enough.
You did not even ask what for.
Way past enough.
We invited passionate soccer fans to push Nissan vehicles to the limit, just like they do with their teams.
IZZAA. Ah, that'll be fine.
And the Nissan Summer Sales event.
Ask what for. You would not be embarrassed for homework. That was unfairly accurate. I explained the backup plan. Adult witnesses, no fighting, no touching, no heroic nonsense. Ryan's cousin would bring enough people to make Mason's outside boys rethink their extracurricular program. I needed a small cash loan until I could repay it the next day.
Wait,
Emma listened
what's the
with both
stats?
hands folded over her notebook. Will anyone get hurt? She asked. No. Will you hit Mason? No. Will this make you
Z
angry?
plus
She
SSS.
frowned. And after briefly, embarrassed. Embarrassment is more educational. Emma opened her bag and took out her wallet. Before she handed me the money, I opened my notes app and wrote a debt record with the amount, purpose, and repayment date. Then I turned the screen to her. Her eyes moved over it. You do not need to write it. I do. Why? Because your money is not magic. It is trust with numbers attached. She stared at me for a second. Then she handed me the bills. Then repay on time, she said. Yes, Miss Blake. The gate after school looked exactly like a gate after school. Students pouring out, bikes ringing, parents waiting, snack vendors doing
Oh, it's
better business
almost
than most
okay.
teachers'
So I'm
motivational
almost
speeches.
there.
Mason waited across the street with 6 boys I did not know. 6. I had prepared emotionally for 15. The disappointment was real. Mason walked toward me with his hands in his pockets. You came. I did. I also wore comfortable shoes because someone promised a dramatic event. One of the outside boys laughed before Mason glared at him. Mason's face darkened.
All right, so I need to fight Doflamingo.
While Paige insulted Emma. Chloe is writing an apology. You think you can
How do I
order people
even do
around?
this one?
No. I think if people insult my deskmate, they can apologize in writing. Very literary. On theme. Mason stepped closer. That was when 2 vans pulled
How
up
do I
behind
even
me.
do that?
Ryan's cousin got out
Eventually, I
first.
gotta figure out how to
I
do that
had
one
never met him,
eventually.
but I respected him instantly because he looked like a man who read contracts and lifted refrigerators for fun. Behind him came a dozen adults in plain jackets, each holding a phone, each old enough to make Mason's outside boys remember they had families who preferred them unrecorded. Ryan's cousin smiled. Which one is the student needing event security? I raised a hand. That would be me. Mason looked from the adults.
Okay,
What the hell is this? Community observation.
because I thought it was a raid one.
Ryan's cousin turned to Mason's group. Nobody
That's
touches
fine. I
me.
thought it was a raid one that we was
The gate
doing.
area because parents asked us to make sure students leave safely. If you are not here to cause trouble, you can keep walking. The outside boys discovered urgent appointments in several directions. It was beautiful, pure administrative oxygen entering a room full of matches. Mason stayed because pride was heavier than common sense. Once his borrowed crowd left, he looked like a student who had overdressed for a bad decision. You called adults, he said. You called outsiders. Coward. Correct. I am cowardly about ruining my SAT future. Very fragile in that area. His jaw tightened. Ryan's cousin looked at him. Student, go home. Mason looked ready to argue, then saw the phones. He turned and walked away. The result was clean. No punches, no injuries, no discipline record. A very loud silence filled the space where his threat used to be. By the next morning, the photos had spread through Brookfield High. They made Mason's outside backup look small, and my adult witnesses look extremely boring, which was the whole point. Paige's apology note arrived before first period. It was stiff, nervous, and clearly written by someone who had discovered consequences had handwriting requirements. She apologized for insulting Emma, admitted the joke was cruel, and promised not to repeat it. Chloe's note came after. Hers was shorter. I laughed because I was jealous. That was ugly. I am sorry. Emma read both notes quietly. She did not smile, but her shoulders loosened. Do you accept them? I asked. She folded the notes and put them.
Yeah, but I really need to get. I need after this. I need to get more kills for freaking Luffy. After this, I need to get more kills.
My exit pass repost under the literature discussion board by noon. Mr. Whitman pretended he had nothing to do with that, which meant he absolutely had something to do with that. Mason's circle gave me space in the hallway. Chloe stopped flirting for one whole morning, a restraint that probably counted as community service. And Emma, who had been dragged into attention because I sat beside her, looked at the
Honestly, I probably should do that too.
Mason's friends now left around.
Honestly, I probably should change that.
First, she said during lunch. I did, and you did not say I was part of the post. You are not a prop. She looked down at her water bottle. People keep looking. I know, but it feels different from yesterday. Better or worse? Emma thought about it carefully. Less lonely. I had no joke for that. Mr. Whitman saved me from having to find one by stopping beside our desks with a stack of mock exam notices. Logan, he said, enjoy your fame today. Tomorrow the joint mock schedule begins. Chloe, done with her morning of restraint, turned around. Before school one? Mr. Whitman nodded. Westridge High, Brookfield High, Northgate High, and Fairview Prep. Chinese composition included. Mason, at the back, looked up to spite himself. Emma's hand tightened around her pen. Mr. Whitman smiled at me in the cruel way only teachers could manage. You wanted to do simple things repeatedly. Start with an exam. The post they deleted had made me famous. Now the score sheet had to make it expensive. The morning after Mason tried to outsource his courage, Ms. Anderson called both of us into the hallway. Mason arrived with his jaw set and his hands in his pockets. I arrived with a notebook, a pen, and the peaceful expression of a student who had technically not punched anyone. Growth looked good on me, very scholarly. Ms. Anderson looked from Mason to me. Explain. Teacher, I said, Mason and I are best buds. Mason's head snapped toward me. No, we are not. See? Comfortable honesty. Very strong foundation.
Brother says, "See, look, comfortable honesty."
Foundation. Miss Anderson closed her eyes for 1 second. She did that often around me. I was becoming part of her cardio. Logan! No fight happened, I said. No one was hurt. Some adults stood near the gate and recorded the area. Mason went home. Mason muttered, You brought a crowd. You brought one first. Miss Anderson's gaze sharpened. Mason. Way. That gave Miss Anderson enough to work with. She knew how student lies smelled before breakfast. Miss Anderson lowered her voice. If either of you turns my class into an off-campus fight club, I will make sure your parents learn every detail before you can rewrite it. Understood, Mason said. Logan? Teacher, I am deeply committed to boring exits. You are committed to making me retire early. Also possible. Her mouth twitched, but only for a second. Then she looked at Mason again. This ends now. If there is a problem, you come to me. If I hear about outside students at the gate again, I will not care whose pride started it. Mason nodded once. I did too. Then Miss Anderson kept me back while Mason returned to class. Truth, she said. So I gave her the clean version. Paige's insult, Chloe's apology note, Mason's threat, the adults at the gate, no touching, no injuries. I left Emma's fear out of it as much as I could, because because Emma had not volunteered to become a school incident report. Miss Anderson listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, "You handled the physical danger without fighting. Good, thank you. You also created a public spectacle. A peaceful public spectacle. Logan, a medium-sized peaceful public spectacle." She sighed. "I am watching you closely. That makes 2 schools. The difference is that I read evidence." That shut me up. Fair hit. Clean technique. By the time I sat down, Emma was looking at me with quiet concern. "Best buds?" she whispered. "Working title?" Mason heard from the back and made a sound like he had swallowed a staple. The first reward of the day was small but satisfying. Mason did not threaten. Chloe did not perform, and Paige looked at Emma's desk like the apology note might explode if she insulted it again. Then Westbridge High got involved. Ryan messaged me during the break between English and math. Ryan Brooks messaged, "Morrison bought me breakfast." I messaged, "Was it poisoned?" Ryan Brooks messaged, "Spiritually, yes." Ryan Brooks messaged, "Spiritually, yes." Ryan Brooks messaged, "Also he gave me $60. I stared at the message. I messaged Ryan. Ryan Brooks messaged, "Before you judge, I accepted it for evidence preservation and snack justice." I messaged, "What did he want?" Ryan Brooks messaged, "He wants me to tell you, Westbridge High can clarify your discipline note if you stop posting about the deleted exit path thing and let the school say the novel was developed while you were here." Ryan Brooks messaged,
Wait, I didn't put weakest.
"I think
I put strongest.
Right on schedule. A friend request appeared from Madison Cole. Her message preview floated on the screen. Madison Cole messaged, "Logan, can we talk?"
Wait a minute, because I put strongest and then it said weakest. I'm like, wait, what?
There she was, still trying to put perfume on a threat. I did not accept the friend request. I screenshotted it. I messaged, "Ryan, did you keep the money?" Ryan Brooks messaged, "Obviously. I am corrupt, not wasteful." I messaged, "Send photos of the envelope and the message." Ryan Brooks messaged, "Already did. Friendship includes file management." The screenshots arrived clean. Morrison's office desk, a folded envelope, Ryan's thumb in frame because, of course, Ryan's thumb wanted credit, and Morrison's message telling him to help guide Logan back to a cooperative attitude. $60. That was the price of Westbridge High's dignity in the morning market. I sent the files to my private folder.
That's fine, because I can keep replacing.
Evidence did not expire if stored properly. My mock exam unfortunately did. Good teacher. Annoying, correct. The joint mock began the next day. 4 schools, shared papers, swapped proctors, and enough nervous energy to power the city lights if anyone could wire teenage dread safely. The moment I saw the answer sheet, the jokes thinned out. In the old life, exams had become a punishment chamber after the fight. I remembered sitting with a warning on my record, teachers treating me like a risk, my parents pretending not to worry at dinner, and my own brain refusing to stay still long enough to solve questions I knew how to solve. That memory did not vanish just because I had better lines now. The paper smelled like ink and cheap printing glue. My fingers rested on the desk. Clean hands, clean record, new school. Do simple things repeatedly. Read the question, find the trap, write the answer. The first subject passed without drama, which was exactly how exams should pass if adult...
I kind of wish I had monitor, but that grind is hell on earth.
Before we entered the
Like,
exam,
I wish I had monitor, but that grind is literally hell on earth.
composition themes. Chloe had 3 example essays memorized, and the expression of someone who would personally sue the paper as none appeared. Emma had her outline notebook open, neat and quiet. I looked over the corridor crowd and lowered my voice. "Review environmental governance, youth responsibility, and community rules," I said.
Time is valuable. You could finish your degree faster and for less with eligible transfer credits at University of Phoenix.
Wait, where did I get this extra one? I still need more kills.
I said. Owen Fisher blinked. "Why those?" "Because if the paper asks about celebrity gossip, we are all doomed anyway." Chloe narrowed her eyes. "Is this author instinct?" "No, it is student survival instinct." Emma looked at her notebook, then calmly added 2 lines under a heading. "You believe him?" Chloe asked her. Emma did not look up. "He is often strange, not usually random. That might have been the best review of my personality so far."
Don't be scared by what? Don't be scared by the next evolution. I mean, I know the next evolution isn't too crazy. I know it isn't that crazy, hopefully. Yeah, but I still need to get more kills for Luffy first before I could even do the next evolution. Fucking, I hate that certain characters need kills to get to evolve them. Sure, why not? Like, sure, why not?
Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel
I
versus
think that's the one I played. I think I played X-Men Legends.
But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her? It's, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so Flame Curse Fingers, Cleanse Curse Ring, Find Tools, Fix the Lamp, Ultimate Showdown, Zone the Domain Clash.
Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually
Why did it say I'm at this one?
makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of
There
these
it is.
games,
It fixed itself.
3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what
But yeah, I think they what's the name that one.
is this good? But Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is
Wait, where's my unit?
like we know Scott Summers is lit. But we not gonna pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jean is super
I'm
powerful.
supposed to get one unit at least, though.
Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me
No,
happy.
seriously though, I was supposed to get Fairy, but I didn't get him.
Marvel versus Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this. Seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing
Okay, thank you for letting me know, cause
strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like we know Scott Summers is lit, but we not gonna pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jean is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel versus Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me
dang, why is the curse figures dangling all in one area?
good, but Storm
Why is the curse figures dangling near in every one area? That was weird.
mutant strength to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to
What the
know
heck
what
is
to do with
this?
her is, bro, come on, bro. Y'all
The
know
hell
it's
is
crazy.
this?
Like we know Scott Summers is lit.
Okay, that's a hidden relic. I found one. Another cursed finger. Ah, oh wait, I can't get it because there's a barrier. Ah.
Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself.
Extra life.
For them not to know what to do with her. It's, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit. But we're not going to pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jean is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her. It's, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit. But we're not going to pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jean is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke.
Avatar? Wait, what's this one? Is that a tray? Loot Goblin. Power up loot drops. Excuse you? That's a new one. Yeah, that's a new one.
Seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her. It's, bro, come on.
Barricade durability. Marathon. More speed. Extra life.
Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really
Holy Jesus. The fucking money you need?
Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her. It's, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit.
Okay, so there's hidden relics on this map. But I'm low key looking for them.
Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her. It's, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit. But we're not going to pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jean is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good.
Ah.
Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them.
All right, welcome back, brother. Welcome back.
her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro, y'all know it's crazy. Like we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not gonna pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jane is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something.
No.
Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good
Loading?
makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is,
God
bro,
dang.
y'all
Like,
know
where
it's
are
crazy.
they hidden?
Like we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not gonna pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jane is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something.
Wait, where did you? No, I hate this bullshit, man.
Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good.
Wait, where did you go?
Like for somebody who's played
Oh,
X-Men
there you
Legends,
is.
Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself.
Okay, because that's the repair tools.
Them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro, y'all know it's crazy. Like we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not gonna pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jane is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But
Man, I hate this.
seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is
Seriously, what the fuck?
top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself.
Finally, I got it.
Game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro, y'all know it's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
But we're not gonna pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jane is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is,
Wait, where's the box?
like we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not gonna pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jane is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at?
Raging Oni versus Wrath God.
Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy.
Kratos.
For somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom
Oh,
2 and 3 and all of
well,
this, seeing this makes me happy.
that's okay.
Doesn't make me happy. Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro, y'all know it's crazy. Like we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not gonna pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jane is super powerful. Storm can't be. some extra moves or something.
Okay.
Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not going to pretend like Storm
You know what? I'm gonna get the familiar because fuck it.
Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because
Even though I don't have his what's the name, I chose his familiar just cause I do not want to do that.
X-Men Legends, Marvel
I know
Alliance,
that grind is gonna be hella annoying.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all it is, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not going to pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jane is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves.
Cause I seen the grind for the familiar and I was like, oh nah, that rating? Yeah, no.
In this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom.
Like no, the main reason I did it because I seen the rate up for it and I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not going to pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jane is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not going to pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jane is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games.
Wait, why are you doing this, brother? What's going on?
And all it is, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength.
Because I need to understand why you're doing this.
Herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not going to pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jane is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves.
Okay.
Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not going to pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jane is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not going to pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jean is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not going to pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jean is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game and he's actually really good makes me happy. Like for somebody who's played X-Men Legends, Marvel Alliance, all of these games, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 and all of this, seeing this makes me happy. But you know what doesn't make me happy? Seeing that Cyclops is this good, but Storm, who is considered amazing and absolute top tier mutant strength, to be left as a shadow as herself in this game for them not to know what to do with her is, bro, come on, bro. Y'all know it's crazy. Like, we know Scott Summers is lit, but we're not going to pretend like Storm is not a top tier. Jean is super powerful. Storm can't be. Everybody don't need to be broke, but come on, give her some extra moves or something. Where my Marvel fans at? Where y'all at? Because seeing Cyclops being released in this game.
Wait, what quest resets? Oh, but wait, I don't see any more fingers. That's the thing. You say that, brother, but I don't see any more fingers. Oh, you did it already. Ah. What you doing?